Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. Hello, Tucker. How are you? And today we're going to read some meditations. My husband is getting ready to come home, and we're going to have some dinner and maybe watch the finale of RuPaul's Drag Race. I think it's on tonight. So I'm very excited about that, and we're just going to relax this weekend. I think he has some work to do tomorrow, but we're going to try to go to the pool. I'm going to buy some new plants out on my patio. I have tried so hard. I have two that are doing really, really well, and the two out front are doing really, really well. But I have two over here that no matter what I do, I take off the dead heads, I water them consistently, they just haven't made it. And I was talking to my neighbor, and she just took all of her plants off the back patio, and she said, and put them out front. And she goes, I think it's because they're out in the sun all day long. So that might be it. So I'm gonna go to the garden shop tomorrow, and I'm gonna try to buy some new plants for back there, because I have the cushions out there. I want it to look so pretty and everything, you know, because we're coming into the last month of summer, and I really wanna enjoy it. But I want to get like maybe 2 or 3 more plants out there, and I'm going to ask the garden center, like, what are plants that can be out in direct sun? I actually have like this plant that's like this grassy stuff, 2 of these plants. One's like these big leaves, and the other one's just like grassy stuff, and they're doing very well. You dogs are wrestling like crazy. Come here, Boo Radley. Boo Radley. Oh, you guys are wild today. Are you ready to spend the weekend with your dads? Are you ready to hang out and just have a good... You are. We're gonna have a good weekend, aren't we? We're gonna watch movies, and we're gonna have treats, and we're gonna hang out and take naps and all kinds of stuff. It's gonna be a real fun weekend. Okay. That's about as exciting as it gets around here. Oh, it's also the readathon, so I'm trying to finish my book set for the readathon. Okay. Let's get into the meditations for today. He just hopped literally over the cord. This is what happens, is like he jumps off the chair, and then he goes into the light or the cord sometimes. Okay, I know, it's so exciting. We're having such a good day. Let's read from Melody Beattie's Journey to the Heart, Daily Meditations on the Path to Freeing Your Soul, author of The Language of Letting Go. It's wild in here tonight. Okay, July 24th. July 24th, joy is the way. The woman was in her 50s, maybe 60s. She had retired from the big city and was now working as a waitress in Mary's Restaurant, a small cafe in a small Montana town. She looked as if she lived alone. She looked as if she had been through her share of disappointments, joys, and awakenings. She brought me a plate of bacon and eggs, set them down, and gave me a radiant smile. It's a beautiful day, she said. Yes, it is, I said. I looked at her. Are you happy to be here? She thought a moment, then replied, yes, she said with joy in her voice. Yes, I am. Joy is the way. Joy in the morning, joy throughout the day, joy at twilight, joy in our dreams, waking and sleeping. I should show you guys what is... Somebody over here is feeling joy. Can you see him? I don't know if you can see him or not. Hold on a second. Are you feeling joy? Joy to the world. And my ring light just went out. Come on. Come on, ring light. Oh, there's Boo Radley. Tucker, are you feeling joy today? He said, I feel joy every day. Okay. Joy is the way. Joy in the morning, joy throughout the day, joy at twilight, joy in our dreams, waking and sleeping. For so long, we believed that our joy deepened. He is like scratching on me like, Dad, I need attention, I need petting. Okay. For so long, we believed that our joy depended on specific outward circumstances. Okay. I'm feeling a lot of joy today. Okay. For so long, we believed that our joy depended on specific outward circumstances, on a particular situation being a certain way, or on the presence or behavior of a particular person. While getting what we want and being with those we love can add to our joy, we have learned another kind of joy, a deeper kind of joy, a joy that abides and carries us through. Right, Boo Radley? Joy doesn't come from the outside, although the energies of the universe and universal love can add to our joy and fill our wellspring. Joy comes from doing the divine will each moment. Joy comes from living in harmony with ourselves each moment of each day. Joy is a choice that comes from accepting and living fully each moment of our lives, knowing that each day and each event is important. Joy comes from trusting each moment. That's the secret of joy. Receive it now, then pass it on with a smile and a kind word to all who come along your path. I love this meditation, and I know that I'm kind of like all over the place because the dogs are acting crazy and stuff, but You know, on my drama channel recently, I've been saying this thing, which is be too much. And, you know, I've talked on there about, like, all of my life, I've had people that were like, you know, be too much, hold it down, blah, 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 whatever. And I remember when I was, like, in high school, you know, like, I think we're all to some degree embarrassed of our own parents. And I can remember that my mom, well, two separate stories, she like had to come to school to like bring something or to pick me up. And she was like, I had her always park in like a certain area. And there was this dad and his like daughter played this like, she played the harp. She played this huge harp, right? And so he had to like bring it to school. And so my mom was like talking to him outside and she was like, oh, my son would never let him come into the school. You know, like he would be so embarrassed or whatever. And, I'm laughing because it's the truth, you know, back then. And I look back to, my mom was like, you know, I mean, other than her drinking at home and things like that, she was pretty much a cool mom. Like, my friends liked her, you know. I mean, she was a good mom. She did her best, you know. And, but anyway, he looked at her and he said something about, like, well, kids need to be embarrassed every once in a while by their parents, you know? And my mom would say that. She's like, I think you need to be embarrassed by your parents every once in a while. And I look at that now and I think there's kind of a truth to that, I think, you know. But I'm older now, and I think the other thing that I remember is this whole idea of being too much, which, you know, like all my life, like I said, people have like tried to hold me down and say, you know, like, shh, you're too loud, you're too much, you're singing, you're dancing and whatever. And I remember with my mom and stuff, like we would go places and, you know, she would just like all of a sudden just like start dancing like in the middle of like a hallway going somewhere. Like if we went to the casino, she'd start dancing down the hallway. Now, when I was older, I loved this side of her, you know, and especially, like, I think after I got sober, I loved that side of her, that just, like, that electric energy that came out. But when I was younger, I was embarrassed of that, you know, and I would be like, Mom, like, hold it down. And I did to her what people did to me, and that's, like, you know, I look back on that, and I wish I had never done that. And she would say to me, she'd say, you don't want your old mom to be happy. Like, you know, God forbid, mom laughs and has fun, and she's dancing and she's singing, you know? And today I know it's like, embrace that. You know, embarrass yourself if you have to. Be too much. You know, live with every moment of joy in your heart if you possibly can. Life is too short, okay? And we are presented in life so many moments that are opportunities for tragedy and opportunities for sadness that are appropriate, I think, you know, to be sad in those moments and to feel the tragedies in our heart. But there are so many more moments in this world that offer us moments of joy, to just be just like full of joy, joyous. You know, I say on my vlog every single day to say to yourself when you wake up in the morning and say it to yourself the night before going into the next day, today I'm going to be happy, joyous, and free. And it's a recovery saying, right? It comes from a 12-step program, that saying, happy, joyous, and free. But it's true. It's like I want to feel that in my heart every day. I want to feel full of love and gratitude and joy. You know, and I think that joy is an expression of gratitude. I think joy and happiness. And when I think of joy, I think of happiness to the extreme, you know? And like dancing to music and really feeling yourself and really being too much and allowing yourself to just, I don't know, like fall in love with yourself. Like we all need to fall in love with ourselves, you know? Like, I think it's kind of become kind of a catchphrase and cliche thing, you know? It's like I said, RuPaul's Drag Race. I mean, RuPaul says, you know, if you can't love yourself, how are you going to love somebody else? But there's so much truth to that, you know? I do love myself today. Are there things I know I need to work on? Yeah, absolutely. You know, are there things that I wish I could change about myself? Sure. And I can change some of those things, and some of them I can't, you know? And I've kind of tried to learn to accept those things and love those things that I can't change about myself. But listen, I love myself. I do. And it's taken me a long time. You know, I don't know that I could probably have said that until I was about 40 years old. And I wish that it hadn't taken me that long. You know, I've been blessed to have been in some rather amazing relationships, friendship-wise, romantic-wise, and things like that. And I've really encountered some amazing people in my life. But, you know, it really, I think, took me realizing, and this is about codependency, which we talk a lot about on here in Melody Beatty, realizing that I had defined myself the majority of my life through the eyes of other people. And if I didn't feel like they loved me or they didn't love me the right way or enough, then I wasn't good enough and then I couldn't love myself. And, you know, then I fell in love with myself. And I was like, you know, there was a period that I went through where I had no spiritual foundation. I had no emotional sobriety in my life. And how are you going to love yourself if you don't have those things, you know? Whatever your spiritual foundation is, and that can be the wind, okay? Or it can be some religiosity, or it can just be like a collective spirituality like I have. But, you know, I couldn't really love myself until I realized, you know, like this thing that I learned when my mom passed away, like you're born, you live, you die, what you put in the middle is in the middle, that I'm really here. Like it's Peter's world, you know, that like I interact with people, but at the end of the day, I'm here and I'm alone with myself. And so I better learn to love myself, right? Like I better, why wouldn't I want to? Because if I'm not going to love myself, then nobody else is going to. So ask yourself, if you literally cannot say, I love myself, what is it about you? Are you punishing yourself? Don't do that. There's enough people out there that will punish you. You don't need to punish yourself. Forgive yourself, you know? And that's where I love the definition of forgiveness by Oprah, which is, you know, that forgiveness is letting go of the past and how it should have been. Okay, maybe you're mad at yourself about something in the past, right? But it's about letting go of that. And, you know, I was listening to, so I've talked a lot about Stephen Hill on my channel, on my vlog channel, and on my drama channel, and he's a vlogger, and I'll link his channel below. But, you know, he said something one day, and this is kind of a spiritual religious thing, but I really loved what he said. He said on there that, like, he and his mom were having a conversation, and he was like, his mom, I can't remember what it was. It was something that she didn't like about herself. And he said, what do you think God would say about that right now? And she said something like, I love you, it doesn't matter. And he goes, whatever you think in that moment that God would say, that's what God said, right? And I thought about that. I was like, oh my God, like that is so profound, right? That whatever, like in that moment, if you have any kind of spiritual belief whatsoever, or any kind of internal love for the world or whatever, you know, those things that we dislike about ourselves, like that was so freeing to me to hear that. I was like that took me 48 years to get that, and I got it in like 2 seconds, that whatever I think that God would say to me in that moment, you know, like forgive yourself, or stop being so hard on yourself, or love yourself, or do the work to change, or whatever. But like whatever God would say to me in that moment, like I'm beating myself up over all this stupid crap, and who pays for it in the end? I pay for it in the end. So you know what? I'm not willing to do that anymore. I'm not willing to allow people to mute me. I'm not willing to allow people to hold me down. I'm not willing to allow people not to let me sing and dance and be too much. I'm going to be too much, right? And I'm going to love myself, because I only have one life, and so should you. Anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.